Live from Lexington, our home, your news. This is Fox 56 News at 10.
Hello, it's good to have you with us this Thursday. I'm Bodie Brooks. Those headlines in just a moment, but first we have some rainy days heading into the weekend, and we could be in for some heavy showers. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Chris Johnson. Chris.
Hey, Bodie, yes, as we look ahead for the next couple of days, we're going to be tracking out a couple more rounds of some rainfall, and some of that could be heavier at times as we get into tomorrow afternoon once again as we work through your Saturday. Right now, though, catching a little bit of a break from some of the rainfall. Cloudy skies winning out. Temperatures on the cooler side currently sitting at 50 degrees. And as you can see here on radar, not a whole lot going on across portions of the bluegrass. Now we do zoom out, folks, just to our south and southeast, still holding on to some of those light showers with the best activity showing up across the border. You have to get into southwestern portions of Virginia, eastern Tennessee. That is where the more moderate rainfall is located. But as we head through tonight, it's those southern and southeastern areas that will hold on to that chance for a few showers. That remains a possibility. Temperature-wise, we're going to drop things off into the 40s. It's going to be a cooler night out there, but like I said, more rain chances ahead. A couple of rounds of rain on tap for you Friday and Saturday, and that's what we'll talk about with that full forecast here in just a bit. Bodie?
Well, the Kentucky men's basketball team was excited this morning talking about their upcoming matchup against Ohio State on Saturday, a chance to get that bad loss to Notre Dame out of their mouths. But as of right now, Kentucky was looking for a replacement opponent today due to COVID issues inside that Ohio State program. Around 3:30 this afternoon, UK Athletics releases a statement noting they're working to find an opponent. That CBS Sports Classic Committee working with them to find a possible replacement. We found out here at Fox 56 Sports earlier this afternoon that that opponent is going to be North Carolina. UK has yet to confirm that, but we have it on good intel that that is going to be their opponent come Saturday at 5:15. We'll keep you updated on the latest as the Cats head out west, on air and online. In studio right now, Mitch Brown. I'll send it over to Bodie.
Mitch, thank you. Governor Andy Beshear says with each day that passes, the chances that the death toll will grow from the weekend tornadoes gets a little lower, and that storm victims can expect a lot more federal help soon. Today, the death toll grew by 1 to 75, the number of missing down to 16. However, both of those numbers could still rise. But there was also positive news today after a major promise from the president. An unprecedented disaster.
It looked like a war zone. You couldn't see anything. Nothing was, I didn't even know where I was.
Bringing an unprecedented response.
The level of devastation is significant, not just in the immediate term for those that are immediately impacted, but also for the long-term communities and the businesses here.
Governor Andy Beshear Thursday announcing total support from the federal government for Kentucky's recovery.
And so we asked for what would almost be the unthinkable. Can you, the federal government, just pay for all of certain costs to help us? On Wednesday, the president told me personally, the answer was yes.
The bottom line is this is unprecedented response. He cut through the red tape and Governor Beshear pushed it the entire way.
The response can be summed up by the numbers. 672 National Guardsmen on the ground, more than 400 FEMA responders vetting families, about 600 Transportation Cabinet employees clearing the roads, more than 9,000 claims with the Department of Insurance.
We are hurting, and we're still hurting. And it continues to be very painful. But we are not broken. We are not broken.
And some more statistics to share. The Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund has swelled to more than $15 million, and more than 70,000 toys have been donated for the storm's youngest victims to still have a Christmas. Several firefighters in Lexington are back to their normal schedule after working in Mayfield. On Saturday, more than a dozen crew members went to Mayfield within 12 hours after the storm to help. Captain Ryan Hogston tells Fox 56 their main mission was to help rescue workers from the candle factory. The Lexington Fire Department stayed in Mayfield until Tuesday night when everyone at the candle factory was accounted for. Hogston took this video on Main Street in Mayfield. He says almost every building will have to be rebuilt. Hogston says he has worked several other natural disasters in his career, but this is the worst damage he's seen. Other fire departments are continuing to help out in the city of Mayfield. The captain says the way the community comes together to help makes him proud to be able to help.
It's an amazing thing to see. It really is, let alone all the disaster that you're seeing brings you down, but seeing the community come together is a huge boost, huge boost.
Governor Andy Beshear has provided an update on COVID-19 cases in the state. Beshear reported that Kentucky has more than 2,900 new COVID cases, bringing the state's total to 820,715. The state also seeing a 9% positivity rate, and of the latest cases, 765 are kids 18 and under. There are currently 1,249 Kentuckians hospitalized, with 327 in the ICU and 179 on a ventilator. In today's Team Kentucky update, the governor confirmed that he has not been informed of the first Omicron variant case discovered in Kentucky, but says it's unquestionably here already. COVID-19 infections are still rising in the U.S., which means everyone has to prepare for another pandemic holiday season. The U.S. now averaging 118,717 cases each day, which is 40% higher than a month ago. Beds in intensive care units are 78% full, and many hospitals are facing staffing shortages. Not to mention the growing impact of the latest COVID strain, Omicron. Dr. Fauci says to expect Omicron to be the dominant strain soon and to get boosted as soon as possible. The U.S. just reached a one-year benchmark of vaccines coming to the market. About 60% of Kentuckians and you have to think in 1 year. That's a huge accomplishment for the state, but there's room to improve those numbers. Danielle Miskell reports.
But still a little disappointing that we're still under that 50 percentile.
47% of Whitley County is vaccinated. They're seeing a pattern of inconsistencies with people not returning to get their second dose.
I think some people that once they get one shot, they think they're vaccinated.
Going into the second year of vaccine availability, many rural counties are looking at ways to take vaccines directly to people.
We are looking at vaccines at home, a program to where we could, if you desire, we could actually go out to your house and give your vaccine to you. To make it the distance less and a little easier, we've even went to sporting events and set up.
News of the Omicron variant hasn't set off any spikes like the Delta variant did. The vaccination rates are down and speaks of the public's ambivalence.
We've got to find ways to normalize. How can we live with COVID and go on with our lives, not have it disrupt us the same way, but still be responsible so we're not knowingly infecting people.
But there's one community who is not hesitant to get their booster shots.
I have noticed that a lot of the senior residents in our county are pretty quick to get the booster shot.
At the Capitol, the commissioner for the Kentucky Department of Public Health said the journey to the state's 60% vaccine completion rate was no easy feat.
Think about it, 60% of Kentuckians are fully vaccinated as we sit here today, and it was just 2 days ago that the very first vaccine ever was available in the world.
The infrastructure with the vaccine rollout has taken the past year to build. Kentucky continues to try and close the gap between metro and rural counties completing their vaccinations, as there's still many unknowns to come.
8 days into it, you could go very quickly to be 1/4 of all the virus in a community. So Omicron clearly appears to spread much more rapidly or effectively.
In Frankfort, Danielle Miskell, Fox 56 News.
Regarding the ongoing vaccine hesitancy, many people who got sick from their first 2 shots are showing reluctance to getting the booster. One solution, President Powers recommends switching up the brands of the vaccines as it's proven to build better immunity. Authorities say a Kentucky man suffered a fatal heart attack while cleaning up storm debris at his daughter's home. Warren County Coroner Kevin Kirby says Terry Martin Jane collapsed Saturday in Bowling Green. 14 other members of the Bowling Green community were also killed by the tornadoes. With Jane's death, total storm-related casualties in the state hit 89 nationwide, 75 of those here in Kentucky. Bowling Green police arrested 2 men caught taking property that was not theirs from a tornado-damaged home. An officer saw Jason Harrell and Johnny Bratcher as they were loading a Samsung washer into the trunk of a car. Officials say the 2 were scrapping metal for profit on property that did not belong to them, as neither men live in the area. Both men were placed into custody and taken to Warren County Jail. Coming up, sad news as the search for the last member of the Bowling Green community ended today. The Kentucky Humane Society also doing their part for 4-legged victims of the tornadoes, and a Louisville bank doing its part this Christmas season. Find out how employees are bringing smiles to the faces of local children. Stay with us. Sad news today as the search for a 13-year-old girl who had been missing in Bowling Green came to a tragic end. Bowling Green police confirmed that the body of Nissa Brown was found following days of searching by first responders and volunteers. Brown lived with her parents, 3 siblings, and grandmother. All 7 family members tragically died in the storms. Brown was the last member of the Bowling Green community who was unaccounted for. A little more positive news, the Kentucky Humane Society is making sure 4-legged tornado victims have a safe place to go. KHS officials say the main adoption center will be closed for at least the remainder of this week in order to help rural shelters make room for animals impacted by the tornadoes. Officials say it is common for families to have to give up their pets in the event they lost their homes or jobs and cannot take care of the animals anymore. A big donation is going to help kids at the Home of the Innocents in Louisville. Advance Credit Union collected clothes, toys, shoes, blankets, and more to give to kids this holiday season. The bank also raises money throughout the year to buy some of the donated items, something employees have done for the last 5 years. New this year, the credit union was happy to announce that in addition to the donations, they would be writing a $10,000 check to the Home of the Innocents. In the aftermath of the storm, unfortunately, there will be people trying to take advantage of an already tough situation. That's why the Federal Trade Commission is warning people of disaster scams. According to the commission, scammers are offering cleanup services and rental properties, so be careful of who you donate to and make sure you are donating to a reputable organization. And don't give your personal information out over the phone. Concern in a Lexington neighborhood early this morning. What police say may have caused a man to fire a shot inside his home. Plus, some Mayfield workers who were injured in last weekend's tornado now going to take their employer to court.
All right, here comes our next round of some rainfall as we get into your Friday. It's expected to be heavier at times, but that's not it. We're tracking another round as we head into the first part of the weekend. We'll have details on that forecast ahead coming up after the break.
A man is in custody after police say he fired shots inside a Lexington home. It happened around 6 this morning on East Hills Drive off Manowar. Police think the man was having a mental crisis and fired the gun inside a home. The family inside was able to get to safety and call officers. When police got there, Roger Wilson surrendered peacefully. Officials say no one was hurt. Wilson is charged with discharging a firearm and 2 counts of wanton endangerment. Multiple workers who were injured in the collapse of the Mayfield Consumer Products factory are filing lawsuits against the company. Employees have said they were told leaving the candle factory would cost them their jobs. Attorneys of those victims say the allegations will include serious violations of worker safety as well as a massive cover-up they discovered recently. Governor Beshear said the allegations won't be taken lightly and the investigation will reflect that. Lexington is getting a new health commissioner. Dr. Joel McCullough was approved by the Fayette County Board of Health, and he formally accepted the job yesterday. He's replacing Dr. Craig Humbach, who has been serving since 2016. Dr. McCullough will begin early next year after previously serving as a public health director in Spokane, Washington. Well, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office is filling up with donations from Christmas presents for kids to household supplies. On Wednesday, it received a large donation of socks. The CEO of 4 Bare Feet, Kelly Boff, said they had to load up 4,000 pairs of socks into a horse trailer. The socks will be distributed to communities affected by this weekend's past tornadoes.
Now your forecast from Fox 56 News, the weather authority.
It was a breezy and warmer day here across the Bluegrass, but we tracked in plenty of rain activity, especially this afternoon and getting into this evening. And that was one round. We still have a couple more rounds to go as we get into your Friday and into the first part of the weekend. Officially topping out at 63 degrees, not bad at all, especially for mid-December standards. But I tell you what, right now things are starting to cool off, and we're going to see some of those cooler temperatures take over as we head through the overnight period. Right now sitting at 50 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures, you can see what that front is beginning to do across portions of southern and eastern Kentucky. We're seeing those upper 40s and lower 50s to our north and west, but still hanging on to the middle and upper 50s to our far south and east, and everyone will begin to cool off overnight tonight well into those 40s. Radar, as we do scan those skies, most of us nice and dry here in Fayette County, across Lexington, just to our south and east. We're tracking out a few light rain showers, and these will continue to drift off towards the east and southeast. But overnight tonight and into early Friday morning, we're still going to hold on to that chance for just a few more showers that will develop, working from our south and west, pushing towards the north and east. So the best chance for a few overnight showers will be right here in Lexington and points to the south and east. So something to keep in mind, especially overnight and into early Friday morning. As far as Futurecast is concerned, let's talk about some of those rain showers we'll see. Notice the timestamp here, around 2:45 in the morning. Still tracking out a few of these light scattered showers that are dotting the skies, especially to our south and to our east. We'll hold on to those rain chances across those areas. We catch a little bit of a break, but it doesn't last long as our next wave of some rain, even some heavier rainfall at times, begins to crank up, and you can see just that as the rain increases from our west and southwest. Notice some of the darker greens, the reds, the yellows showing up as we head throughout your Friday afternoon into Friday evening. That's a good indicator of some heavier rainfall at times that will be working across central, southern, and eastern Kentucky. Now, those rain chances will push northward late Friday night into your Saturday morning before our next low pressure system drags its attendant cold front across the Commonwealth. And as it does so, those rain chances are going back up, becoming likely through your Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon before this front finally presses eastward, meaning some dry skies will be taking over Saturday night and into your Sunday. Now, as far as rainfall amounts are concerned, in general, across the entire area, we're talking 1 upwards to 2 inches of rain when it's all said and done. That's over the course of the next couple of days as well. Notice Sunday, look what happens. We go from those low 60s for highs Saturday, tumbling into the 40s by your Sunday afternoon. All right, forecast for tonight, again, a few showers a possibility. It's a cooler night out there as temperatures drop down to 44 degrees. We look ahead for tomorrow. It's going to be a struggle to hit 50, and we're going to top out at 49. The rain chances really ramping up, becoming likely, heavy at times as we work through your Friday afternoon. Those showers remain likely for your Saturday. Yeah, temperatures taking a big tumble there, going into the 40s Sunday, 40s Monday, more the same Tuesday. The good news is we're dry. Temperatures warming back up into the low 50s with lots of sunshine ahead. But Bodie, I tell you what, we get into the next couple of days, still a busy forecast, and we're going to keep an eye on the threat for some heavier rainfall over the next couple of days.
Yeah, that is not the way we want to be starting the weekend. Thank you, Chris. Well, coming up next, Mitch Brown giving us a first look at sports. Stay tuned.
Kentucky is hopeful they'll take the floor on Saturday at 5:15 against North Carolina. Their opponent, Ohio State, which was scheduled for the CBS Sports Classic on Saturday, had to back out due to COVID-19 issues inside their program. But for Kentucky's sake, they want to get that sour taste out of their mouths from this game last week, where they went 2 for 19 from three-point land. Right now, John Calipari is just saying this team has to find an identity, has to find some swagger. And today, the players talked about getting the toughness up, going hard in practice all week, because they know that teams think that they're a soft team, but they want to prove to them that it's not the case.
It isn't about strength. I mean, it has somewhat to do with strength, but it's really mental. Like, if you want to go down there, if you want to fight somebody, you're going to fight them. Like, it has nothing to do with strength. And that's the mentality we have to have. We have to go in there knowing that they're going to punch us, but we need to punch back. And that's what type of mentality we're going in as.
In a game scheduled for 5:15 coming up on Saturday. Fox 56 Sports will be in Las Vegas for that game. We'll keep you up to date, have post-game coverage coming up from there. And coming up in sports, going to talk about this historic football recruiting class for Kentucky, and Mark Stoops. We'll hear from him coming up later in the show.
All right, Mitch, looking forward to it. Police officers from Central Kentucky taking on new roles in the wake of last weekend's storms. Find out how Richmond police are helping another department affected by the tornadoes. Then, how a Lexington restaurant is also donating to the cause.
Live from Lexington, our home, your news. This is Fox 56 News at 10:30.
Hundreds of families in western Kentucky won't have a home to celebrate the holidays in. Others will be missing loved ones that are usually gathered around the tree. In an emotional press conference earlier this week, First Lady Brittany Bashir held back tears while asking every Kentuckian to help their neighbor Here in Lexington, a local church has been converted to a donation center. Volunteers are working multiple shifts to help sort and prepare the hundreds of donations the city is expecting to get. They're collecting books, cards, and toys to support First Lady Beshear's Western Kentucky Toy Drive.
Because they wanted kids in Western Kentucky to have a Christmas. They've lost their homes, they've lost vehicles, parents have lost jobs. The governor and the First Lady want these kids to wake up on Christmas Day and to still feel special.
Volunteers are also tackling another mission by collecting supplies to send to Marshall County, another area hit hard by this weekend's deadly storm. They're asking for storage supplies because the county has already received so many donations.
It's recovery. Marshall County has already received so many donations of clothes and food and water. They're looking for very specific items like totes, large garbage bags. They're looking for gas cans. They're looking for horse food. There's a very specific list of items that they're looking to receive.
The donation center will be open from noon until 6 p.m. tomorrow and Friday. On Saturday, it will be open from 10 to 4 with the goal of getting the donations to Western Kentucky in the early part of the week. Well, for the past 17 years, co-owners of Lexington's Bourbon and Toulouse say their mission has always been to help those who keep their lights on. After last Friday's catastrophic storms, Kevin Heathcote knew he had to step in. Today, Bourbon and Toulouse will be donating 100% of its earnings to tornado victims looking to recover. Heathcote says they are hoping to give it back to those who have supported his business along the way.
Just like every Kentuckian, we want to do something to help those in need. And, whether people are donating to the local food bank, writing a check, or just sending prayers, just do what you can. And we have a large voice, and we have a restaurant and bar, so we're just going to do what we can do.
Bourbon and Toulouse is just one of the many Lexington area restaurants lending a helping hand to tornado victims. Donations continue to pour in for the people of Western Kentucky. The Dawson Springs Police Department said they needed another cruiser, so Richmond Police Chief Rodney Richardson stepped up and donated one of their own to the police department. Richardson says after seeing what happened, they wanted to do whatever they could. Officials will deliver the cruiser to Dawson Springs on Friday. We have some rainy days ahead heading into the weekend, and we could be in for several inches of rain. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Chris Johnson with a look at the weather. Chris.
Now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I tell you what, we had some rainfall moving through the area earlier today, and we look ahead for your Friday into the first part of the weekend, tracking out a couple more rounds of some rain that will impact the Commonwealth. Right now, temperatures on the cooler side out there, currently sitting at 50 degrees. Winds are calm. And look at the high temperatures we hit today. Mind you, it's mid-December, and we're talking about high temperatures in the lower 60s. Look across portions of eastern Kentucky there, upper 60s to 70. That is well above our normal for this time of the year. Should be coming in around 46 degrees for that normal high. Now, as far as temperatures are concerned right now, many areas upper 40s, low 50s here across the Bluegrass. You go down to our south, to our east, we're seeing temperatures in the middle and upper 50s. So still mild out there for this time of the year, but a few light rain showers will continue to work across portions of eastern and southeastern Kentucky as we head through tonight, holding on to that small chance for a few more showers overnight tonight. Temperatures will be cooler as we drop off into those low and mid 40s. We get into your Friday, your Saturday, 2 more rounds of some heavier rainfall will be a possibility, and we'll track that out for you coming up with that full forecast here in just a bit.
Chris, thanks. A Georgetown police drug recovery coach says recently 3 15-year-old girls overdosed on fentanyl-laced opioids fueled by the coronavirus pandemic. The Georgetown Police Department says there is an increase in drug overdoses in kids as young as 15 years old. So far in 2021, there are 100 more cases than in 2020. 4 of those cases are kids under 18. The Georgetown Police Department reported recently a middle school student got a hold of an edible, and recovery coach Corey Consul says parents need to educate their kids on the dangers of drugs before it's too late.
With the pandemic, it has really exacerbated the drug problem, especially here in Scott County. Like I said, the kids are either self-medicating or experimenting. Parents aren't home. It's just, we see a huge increase over the previous year.
Well, here at Fox 56, we are taking the time to recognize remarkable women in our communities. The goal is to honor local women who inspire, lead, and are making a difference. This is the second year we've participated here, and we're asking for your nominations once again. Log on to fox56news.com to nominate the remarkable women in your life. You have until the end of the month. President Biden honored 3 members of the United States military today with the highest civilian award there is, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Anna Warnicki has the latest on 3 of America's heroes.
President Joe Biden honored 3 of our nation's heroes on Thursday.
Each of you know what it means to stare down danger and summon the strength in the moment of trial.
The families of Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cash and Sergeant First Class Christopher Solis accepted the Medal of Honor on their behalf. Sergeant Cash suffered fatal injuries in Iraq while rescuing his fellow soldiers in 2005. And Sergeant Solis died after stepping between Taliban fighters and a medical evacuation helicopter in 2018.
His legacy lives on. The lives he saved, the teammates he mentored.
Master Sergeant Earl Plumley was honored in person for fighting off Taliban insurgents while bringing other soldiers to safety in 2013.
And no one will ever forget how you sprang into action.
I'm just extremely humbled.
During a roundtable on Wednesday, Sergeant Plumley said accepting this award means so much more in the shadow of his fallen comrades.
When you read both their narratives and then you're going to be a part of their story, it's an astounding weight to carry.
Sergeant Cash's sister says she knows her brother would be honored to receive the award, though she wishes he could accept it himself.
This is the highest honor that our nation can give to a person that has done anything, but I trade it all to erase October 17, 2005. I trade it all just to have him home.
In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Coming up next, COVID concerns on the rise. What to expect as the holidays get closer. An update on the tragic Astroworld concert that killed 10 people. And U.S. senators doing their part to put an end to forced labor in China. We'll explain when we go around the world in 56. This year's holiday season was supposed to be a do-over for last year's subdued celebrations. Instead, it's turning into new restrictions, more cancellations, and rising angst for the never-ending pandemic. As the country prepares for Christmas lines once again stretching around blocks at some COVID test sites in parts of the country, there are tightening restrictions in order to curb the spread of Omicron. New updates were given today on the cause of death of the 10 Astroworld concert goers. Officials announced it was compression asphyxia that killed all 10 victims during massive crowd surges that left attendees unable to breathe or move their arms. Medical professionals say the amount of pressure on the victims was likely equal to that of being crushed by a car. Ultimately, the manner of death was ruled an accident for all 10 people. California is proposing new pandemic restrictions, and the Army has an update in their efforts to vaccinate more soldiers. Time to go around the world in 56. The remaining members of a U.S. missionary group who were kidnapped 2 months ago in Haiti have been freed. The group, including 16 Americans, was abducted by the 400 Mawazo gang on October 16th. It's still not clear whether any ransom was paid or what efforts led to their release. Senators gave final congressional approval today to a bill banning imports from China's Xinjiang region until businesses can prove they were produced without forced labor. The measure is the latest in a series of intensifying U.S. penalties over China. Army officials reported today that 98% of their active duty forces have gotten at least one dose of the COVID vaccine as of this week's deadline. 3,800 soldiers refused to get vaccinated, and they could start being removed from the military next month. And finally, California workplace regulators are expected to extend the state's pandemic restrictions into next year, including some new revisions. The main change is a rule that would erase the current distinction between vaccinated and unvaccinated employees. Well, stick around because in less than 5 minutes, we'll tell you the 5 things to know before going to bed.
And that busy forecast continues across the bluegrass. We look ahead for your Friday, another round of some heavier rainfall moving in. We're going to time that out for you and take a look at the weekend forecast coming up after the break.
Eye drops, New Year's resolutions, and a Sex and the City reboot. Here are 5 things to know before you go to bed.
If you're looking into how to actually keep your New Year's resolution this year, here's some tips. A new study tested a few ways to keep people with gym memberships coming back for regular workouts. Researchers used various techniques, including text message reminders, emails, gift cards, and websites. The study found the most convincing method was money. Other approaches included allowing people to listen to music or watch a show or movie while working out and telling participants that, quote, everyone else is doing it. A new development in eye care could make reading much easier for millions. Eye drops made by the company Vuity could end up replacing reading glasses and give clarity to vision for millions of Americans with near vision problems, mostly the ones over the age of 40. The FDA has approved the drops and they hit the market yesterday. The new drops are effective in about 15 minutes. 30-day supply of the drug costs about $80 and it is currently not covered by insurance. The Sex and the City reboot might be a problem for Peloton, the exercise brand's stock taking a hit after the premiere of And Just Like That. A Peloton bike was featured in the first episode of the HBO Max show when, spoiler alert, a character dies from a heart attack after a Peloton workout. The company quickly released a statement saying the character's heart attack was likely caused by an unhealthy lifestyle and not the Peloton workout. Dollar General stores are trying to pop in on a new crowd with a new store approach. The discount store chain wants to attract a younger and wealthier crowd, so it's going to start up about 1,000 Pop Shelf stores. Dollar General says Pop Shelf buyers have more money and tend to be in more suburban locations. The company says Pop Shelf stores sell higher profit items such as home goods and seasonal decor. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge released the photo that'll be featured on this year's Christmas card. The family photo was taken of the royal couple and their 3 children during a trip to Jordan earlier this year. Details of when the family took the trip were not made public. The photo is in contrast to last year's Christmas card, which showed them gathered at their family home in Norfolk, England. There you go, 5 things to know before you go to bed.
The more you know. Well, turning now to our forecast, Chris, it's been a gray and dreary day. I mean, thankfully, it's been, rather mild as the week's gone by, but we're expecting a little bit more rainfall. Thankfully, nothing near as bad as what we saw last week.
You're exactly right. Another couple of rounds of some rain expected as we look ahead for your Friday, once again into the first part of the weekend. And as he was saying, it's certainly been on the milder side. Right now, currently sitting at 50 degrees, and we're going to see temperatures continue to drop off into those 40s as we head through tonight. Temperatures in portions of central Kentucky, those upper 40s, low 50s winning out. Cold front continues to make its move across southern and eastern Kentucky. Because of that, notice temperatures ahead of it, middle and upper 50s right now, but everyone from top to bottom eventually drops off into those 40s a little bit later on tonight. As far as radar is concerned, just seeing a few light showers just east and southeast of the I-64 corridor, but as we head overnight tonight, it's these areas that will hold on to that chance for a few overnight showers, but nothing like the widespread rain that we had earlier today, so good news there. Now, as far as the big picture is concerned, cold front, it's continuing to push off towards the east, taking the rainfall with it, but also bringing in some of that cooler air, and that's something we'll feel as we head through the overnight period, waking up tomorrow morning. In fact, those rain chances, they're sticking around. Widespread rain expected once again for your Friday. Those rain showers remaining likely as we head into the weekend. But look at this, Sunday, Monday into early next week. We're going to dry those skies out, bringing some sunshine back into the forecast. So let's talk about these rain chances overnight tonight and into your Friday morning. Notice across our southern and eastern zones, especially just south of and east of here in Lexington, few scattered showers will remain a possibility late tonight and into your Friday morning. Notice what happens though into Friday afternoon. Our next wave of some rain, heavier at times, begins to push in from the south and west. It's working north and eastward, and as it does so, that's going to bring the threat for some heavier rainfall at times Notice the darker greens, the reds, the yellows showing up on Futurecast. That's a good indicator for some heavier rainfall that will work through the region as we get into your Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Now, this will begin to push towards the north late tomorrow night before a cold front begins to bring it back into the picture. So we're talking another system, another cold front that's going to push through as we get into your Saturday afternoon. Now, look at the spread, though, with these high temperatures. We got a boundary that's parked across southern and eastern portions of the state tomorrow. North of this boundary, we're talking upper 40s and low 50s. South and east of this boundary, much warmer. Yeah, look at this, lower and mid 60s for those highs. So quite a bit of a spread as far as temperatures will be concerned for your Friday afternoon. Then we get into the first part of the weekend, and there's that cold front I was talking about. This one will finally push all the rain chances east and out of town into your Saturday afternoon. But in behind this, we're really tumbling as far as high temperatures are concerned. As far as those rainfall totals are concerned, heading through your Saturday afternoon, generally speaking, 1 upwards to about 2 inches of rain when it's all said and done. That's what we're expecting. Could see a few localized minor flooding issues, but not expecting anything major, so good news there. All right, forecast for tonight dropping down to 44. Again, a few showers of possibility overnight tonight. It's cooler out there. We look ahead for tomorrow, upper 40s and low 50s across the Bluegrass, 49 here in Lexington, and then those rain chances ramp up and become likely as we get into your Friday afternoon. Holding on to those shower chances Saturday, and then those temperatures take a tumble Sunday into early next week as we bring in some sunshine, but temperatures hanging out in the 40s and lower 50s. So as we get into the next couple days, still about those rain chances before we finally dry those skies out. Mitch, how's sports looking?
A busy day here in Lexington in sports. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at the historic recruiting class for Kentucky football. And of course, these guys getting on the road to Vegas. We'll talk about what Coach Cal says this team has to do to find its stride. Sports is up next. Well, this season, Kentucky's had to scratch and claw in their quote-unquote cupcake games. But as Coach Cal said today, these are tough games now on their schedule. It was supposed to be Ohio State, but instead it's going to be North Carolina on Saturday. Now the cookie-cutter stretch is over. It's show out or get blown out. Earlier this season, he talked about finding dogs on this team. Today, he talked about needing them to simply find their swagger.
You can't, what do you do to help us win when you're not making shots? How do you create when people watch us, the officials, the other team, the other opponents, they say, boy, these dudes have a swag to them. The other thing is you have to have confidence. You ready for the word? Competence breeds confidence. You're 0 for 8, it's hard to be a confident player.
He's not lying. Tip-off set for 5:15 right now on Saturday. We'll keep you posted on any changes. No Friday night at Memorial Coliseum for Kentucky women's basketball as the Morgan State team they were set to face is also dealing with COVID-19 issues. Their next game, Kentucky that is, will be Sunday against USC Upstate. That game set to tip Sunday at Memorial at 2 p.m. Now, EKU men's basketball was in action last night, desperately trying to break this losing streak that has stretched to 5 games now. They were ready to break it in this one, though. Braxton Beverly against Midway last night hits Michael Moreno at the top of the key. The Scott County alum sinks a triple to take an early Colonel's lead. They started swinging the ball around on a string. Jansen Williams to Moreno to Beverly. It's his turn to bury one at the same spot. So EKU goes on to win this game 121-67 last night. They're back in action coming up this weekend at home on Saturday. Tough night for the women on the road at 6th-ranked Louisville. They ran into a buzzsaw. The Cards crushed the Colonels 82-38. EKU drops to 4-6 on the season. The Big Blue Wall was one of the best in college football this year. That run should continue with one of the biggest additions in Kentucky recruiting history. Literally, Keontae Goodwin, one of the biggest players in the nation this year. He was a 5-star offensive lineman. His resume speaks for himself, but he is going to be one of the guys that is going to help this class. And as we come back here, Dane Key is going to be another guy that's going to hopefully help this class early on. Mark Stoops talked about it today, saying he comes in immediately and helps that receiving core.
He's a guy that I would expect to come in and play, just because he has the size, he has that ability to make competitive catches, which we needed. He's also very mature. He's very intelligent, works extremely hard. So he definitely can.
As we come back out here, Keontae Goodwin, I mean, you guys saw the video. That guy is going to certainly help out that Big Blue offensive line with just the nastiness you saw there on video.
Yeah, I mean, he is that's not a kid guy. That is a full-grown man right there. You see what he's doing?
He was that big
incredible.
in 8th grade, mind you.
That's enough of a tease on its own.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd see it. All right, let's get a last check of our forecast.
Yeah, guys, we look ahead for the next couple of days. Rain chances, they're sticking around, a couple waves, in fact, through your Friday afternoon, once again into Saturday. A little cooler tomorrow, warmer if you're in our southern zones, but I tell you what, 63 Saturday, and then temperatures take a tumble as we get into the latter part of the weekend, 43 Sunday afternoon. The good news is, guys, we do dry those skies out, but temperatures turning cooler. At least we got some sunshine to look forward to, though.
All right, Chris, thanks. That's our newscast for tonight. For more news, head to fox56news.com. We'll see you all tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.